So let's talk about the deck for a bit. So obviously we started. So I trophied with. I think I don't have the. I just edited the list that I trophied with on Tuesday, Monday, and then we played this deck on stream Tuesday. It seemed pretty good. I think we were like 4-1, 3-2, 3-2, or 4-1, 3-2, 4-1. Can't remember. But a lot of people were saying, you know, I think we could just play Death Shadow in this deck, and I was inclined to agree. Again, the key here, I think, for Expressive Iteration, which is a very powerful card, is to have a proactive deck with a very low curve. Iceman, thank you for your resubscription. Appreciate you. Iceman. Very nice of you. Or first-time subscription. Notably, this is the mana curve of the deck. Iteration I'm kind of viewing as a 3-drop, and then Kroxa's, you know, kind of a 4-drop. So while 22 lands seems high for a Shadow deck, I think with these cards and the Lurrus, you want to be err on the side of, you know, more lands. I played against this 3 times last league. Really? Wow. I didn't know it was picking up in popularity. Are people playing the Shadow version or no? Because last time we were playing Seal of Fires, I changed the mana base a lot, and I cut the 3 Seal of Fires and the 2nd Cling to Dust for 4 Shadows, and I cut the Unearth for the 4th Inquisition just because I think the discard spells are so important with the Shadows. Okay, commands. I mean, I'm open to. I don't think that I have a perfect list because it's still like definitely in flux. But I also, what did I cut the Kolaghan's command for? We had one last time. We cut 1 Clean to Dust, 3 Seal of Fires for 4 Shadows, and then we cut. I cut the main deck Unearth for Inquisition. What did I cut for the Kolaghan's command? Oh, sorry, we were already playing 2. We had already cut the 3rd Seal of Fire for the Kolaghan's command. So I'm definitely open to you know, suggestions, but I'm not sure. K command for Thoughtseize. I mean, you would never cut the 4th Thoughtseize from the Shadow deck, I think, but you could maybe cut the 4th Inquisition. I'm just gonna run it like this, I think, for now. Before we get into it too much, I also wanted to K command for Inquisition. Yeah, that might be fine. Although I do just kind of like the 8 discard spells. For Inquisition, way too much. I mean, it's like 1 too much, if any. I mean, we could maybe make that change. I think that it does sound reasonable. 2 is okay, 3 max. Well, the discard spells also turn on the drowns too. Like I will also say that this deck is not gonna play like traditional Grixis Shadow, right? Where Grixis Shadow gets to be all of Grixis Shadow spells are 1 mana, and that's like the real payoff here. This deck is definitely a bit grindier with Lurrus and Kroxa Iteration. 1 Steel Grim Lavamancer could be better than 4th IOK. Yeah, I think I'd rather play a Seal of Fire over the 4th IOK. It's like, I mean, when we just never hit that, like, 4th land, despite playing the Bob, I think it's pretty easy to say that. It's, like, very easy to have, like, the hindsight there, you know? Thoughtseize on top. Then we probably go Thoughtseize on 1, take another hit, then go Bolt plus Shadow. Aired Mesa on top here. Shadow's a deck that requires you to control your life total. I think that I disagree with you, Soul Strong, but that's okay. We could disagree. I guess we probably want to go Thoughtseize plus Shadow here. That way they can't Helix my Shadow. Yeah, I mean, Dark Confidant is a sideboard card too for like grindy matchups and big mana decks, where I think Dark Confidant does shine. Decks that are, of course, just not pressuring your life total very much. I think I should take the Lava Spike because it's the less mana intensive card here. This way, they have to draw a 1 mana burn spell to kill me. They drew a basic mountain. They're also a burn deck with no Lurrus, of course. Why would you ever play Lurrus? It's much worse than the 15th sideboard card. Top decking Shadow Drown was like 845 chance. Inquisitioning Whale, Jumping Dragon seemed like better odds to hit it out. Well, the thing is though, like their top decks are just so good that if we just like spend a turn doing nothing, I don't think we're winning the game. But I could be wrong. It also tells everyone you're on burn by playing Lurrus. Yes, no other deck in Modern plays Lurrus. I think that we just wait. I'll drown the Helix if they play at end of turn. But just like by taking any damage here and putting myself dead to 1 burn spell as opposed to 2, I just think is a mistake. Yeah, burn does have to get lucky to draw Lurrus, that's true. I don't think I'm going to cast that Thoughtseize. Any changes after the last league? No, just running it back. Like, we punted game 1 and against the Brainslight deck, and then lost game 3. And then lost to E-Tron, which is probably one of our worst matchups. Why wouldn't you play Lurrus in Burn Blood Moon? You'll laugh at the reason. So Burn players think the 15th sideboard card is better. I think we let this resolve so we just don't die to... Well... Yeah, let's just not die to Boros Charm. Obviously, if they have 2 spells here, we lose, but we can't beat that anyways if we counter with the Drown. Yeah, Charleston 1 is good against us, for sure. It's really hard to have all good matchups in Modern. Suspends a Rift Bolt! Let's go, baby! Attack you for 12. Oof, close game. A little light on cards for this matchup, huh? Maybe we could side in Lurrus. It's probably a fine configuration, just -2 Thoughtseize, +1 Unearth, +1 push. Could play 1 explosives, but especially on the draw, explosives just kind of sucks against Burn. It is good if they bring in that card, the enchantment that pings us. I'm just gonna submit this. Do you think Lurrus is worth it in Burn, even when not playing Baubles? Yes, absolutely, 100%. Your deck is also probably better with Baubles. It's a combo with Eidolon, it's a combo with Swift Spear, and it also gives you some card selection with fetch lands. But even if you disagree that you want to play Baubles, Lurrus is 100% not only better than your 15th sideboard card, it is better than any sideboard card in your sideboard. In my opinion. We just put back Thoughtseize, actually. Yeah, Explosives is bad versus Burn. It's very slow. By the time it kills a creature, that creature has hit you a couple times, which is a really big problem. My opponent's mulled to 5, which is like such a problem in this matchup for them. I think I'm gonna Bauble them because I'm gonna get basic Swamp and Inquisition this turn, so I want to just have a better informed Inquisition. They're drawing Boros Charm. Take that one. Ooh. It's just like Lurrus against any control deck and against burn decks is going to be like most of the time a free, like effectively a 0 mana, well, not 0 mana, a 0 card 2 for 1. So like a 2 for 0 because you didn't have to spend a draw step on it. And in the late game, you're going to put Lurrus in your hand. You're going to play it. You're going to get back a threat. And your opponent will probably have to kill your Lurrus and spend a card on it, and then you have another threat in play. And in games where you don't put Lurrus in your hand, it's exactly the same as any other game. In games where you put Lurrus in your hand, it is just absurd. I don't think that I can afford to fetch and shock in this matchup. Probably just gonna go Lurrus in my hand next turn. Like casting Shadow there? I don't know. Wait, I couldn't cast Shadow, could I? I could. We don't want 1. I don't know, but with my opponent low on resources, I'm kind of just happy to lean on Lurrus a bit here. Play a little bit slow. I used to not like Lurrus and Baron because they wanted opponents to mulligan slow hands. I mean, I think that like that's like an okay argument, not one that I really like, because you're just like diminishing your power level to like hide information. I think that's usually not worth it in Magic, but I certainly understand the argument. I certainly understand the argument at least. I think I'm just gonna get a shock land and push. But now that Lurrus can also be a control deck, like that's like quietly one of the best things about the Bring to Light Lurrus deck, right? Is that you reveal Lurrus, and sometimes your opponent thinks that you're just like Jund, but you're a Bring to Light deck. That is like quietly a big part of that deck. But also now that like the Bring to Light Lurrus deck has been popular, people kind of just don't know what to play around when your opponent reveals Lurrus. So I think I'm going to fetch down to 7. If we go to 7, we die to 3 burn spells instead of 2, so I think that feels like a good number to be at. The same argument can be made with Tron just putting Giganta in the sideboard. 100% Tron should be playing Giganta. Like I have to like use an Archmage's Charm or a Cryptic Command on Giganta all the time. And it just like doesn't, it's not like they're getting through a counterspell that with a card that they didn't have to like actually spend a draw step on. Companions are just like inherently busted. And if your deck can play one without any deck building changes, it should. It should. Not every companion is as powerful as Lurrus, but I mean I feel like I'm taking crazy pills having this conversation every day, honestly. I don't understand how we still have to like talk about just how strong companions are. Is Giganta worth it not being able to play Ballista? So I mean I think that's gonna be a metagame dependent call, right? Like, do you think Ballista is really good? If no, if so, then you probably want to play Ballista instead. But you also have Card the Great Creator that can fetch Ballista, so I think it's gonna be more of a metagame call on that one. But I don't think Ballista is even a card you want to play in every format. Like, if Blue-Red Prowess is super popular, your Ballistas just aren't that good. But if Ballista is killing a lot of the popular decks, then I like it. How is that a reasonable interpretation of deck as companion? Once you reveal Lurrus companion, you play blue on turn 1. What's the difference about your opponent's playstyle? The mulligan decision is what's different. Your opponent will like see a hand with no removal and potentially mulligan, or keep a hand with a lot of removal because they see that you're playing Lurrus. That's the difference, is the mulligan decision. Yeah, you tune in just in time for the daily play companions. If it's just like, if it's no change to your deck building, just play them, please. They're so strong. Hello.
Did you see my text?
No. Is it about food?
No.
Oh no. I don't know who Sashi is. Which one is she? Oh, okay, that one. Okay, I remember now. I remember now. Okay, good. Right?
She was almost my firefighter, so.
But I do think that if you're like, if you're making a decision to conceal information in exchange for power, that's probably not a decision that favors you. Oh man, this hand is not good against Tron, huh? Is Garuda combo dead forever? I mean, I can't see the future, but probably. Does die to Dismember. Doesn't die to Warping Whale because we can bolt ourselves. What was the Garuda combo deck? You cast Garuda, and then your deck is just all clones and Restoration Angels, and then you hope to win. But I don't really remember Gyruda being ever that good in Modern, to be honest. So I think I'm going to push the Reshaper, attack, and just like make my opponent Blast Zone next turn. And then on our next turn, we can go Lurrus in hand. They revealed Ulamog. It's probably the best thing we could have seen. We can put Lurrus in hand and then like get our Shadow back. They missed their land drop. Well, that was a freebie. For as well as our like last E-Tron opponent has drawn, this is how poorly this E-Tron opponent has drawn. They drew another Blast Zone. That's actually like a pretty good draw. But they just concede to the Lurrus. Feels like maybe a little bit of an early concession, but I get it. Alright, so last time I boarded out the 1 mana removal. I brought in the Bobs, the Wildfires, and the Explosives, and I also cut the Cling to Dust. This seems good. Weren't I dead? Did they have Smasher? Maybe I was dead. Guess I'm paying my actors enough, huh? Yeah. I think you're right, actually. You know, sometimes in Magic, like, both players just miss, like, the on-board obvious thing. Probably supposed to shock. What do I think of this deck? I'm not sure exactly what I think of this deck yet. Still forming my opinion. I'm gonna wait on the Bauble to trigger the second dragon. I think against the Chalice, I just kind of want to. I need to like get every little piece of value I can. Okay. Thank goodness my opponent has Thoughtseer, not Watery Shaper. They probably need to take my dragon, yeah, but then I could go Lurrus in hand, which is also pretty good for us. So we do have 2 Engineered Explosives in our deck as outs the Chalice of the Void. Top card of my library is an Inquisition. No thanks to that one. Hard to complain about Flood when your opponent has Chalice on one and you just have gotten lucky not to draw any 1-drops in your deck of like all 1-drops. So they can draw next turn. They go Chalice on 0, which is actually very good here. Although we still get to trigger Sprite Dragon off Lurrus at least. Oh, okay. Let's cast that here. Stop them from Troning us. Okay. I'm gonna cast the other Wildfire. If I hit this and they get another Temple that can cast all his dust, I think I just hit the Temple. This also kind of like makes them want to get another Temple. Oh, I need to not F6 though because I could draw a 0-drop. Go, Sprite Dragon, go! It's all up to you. The little Sprite Dragon that could. You get a Blast Zone, which is going to be a pretty slow answer to Dragon. What an answer. They main phase level the zone. Maybe I could have held the Wildfire for that. So I know we could cast Thoughtseize to trigger the Sprite Dragon, but we can drown the Thoughtseer after they sack Blast Zone, so I guess they're just not going to do that main phase though. So maybe we could have just pinged them instead. I think holding up the drown's probably better. Huh. I mean, they're just dead if we draw any spell. That's any spell. Yeah, we can drown our own Thoughtseize. So they're dead. feel like this was so greedy by them. 3 lands, jeez. They're still dead. Only I counter my Thoughtseize opponent. Yeah, I think this was not a very good line. I don't know. Feels good to 2-0 them after getting 2-0'd. Or, yeah, 2-0'd last league by E-Tron. Wasn't the E-Tron match 1-2? Maybe it was. I thought it was 2-0 though. Thought we got 2-0'd. Hold on. Ooh. Sisay, Shauna's Legacy. We're actually playing against green-white tokens. I think I'm gonna Inquisition the Thalia too, probably, but in the 2-0 bracket playing against green-white tokens. I mean, probably not a great matchup. Elite Spellbinder. A Mox Amber deck? That's like maybe a good read, yeah. So there's Colony Garden, Elite Spellbinder, Sisay mystery card. Or not Sisay, Shauna. What card is Sisay? That's the legendary guy, lady. Hand, bottom, exile. They could have exiled Tarn and played Shadow this turn, actually. That could have been better. We'll get double red for Kroxa. I don't know. Getting rid of their elite spellbinders may be good. I mean, how much do we care about Shauna? Probably will care more about the spellbinder. Do you think Yorion is worth the deck building cost generally? Not. I mean, obviously no, because if so, I would just play Yorion in like every deck. But in some decks that play Yorion, Yorion is very good. I think the characteristics of Yorion decks include yeah, let's go Kroxa hands, bottom Bauble, exile push Shauna, play Shadow. The characteristics of Yorion decks are going to include decks, of course, with a lot of into the battlefield effects, and tutors tend to play well with Yorion. Especially tutors that like fetch cards from your sideboard. The biggest problem with Yorion deck is I don't think that your power level game 1 is diminished very much by putting Yorion in your deck. Wait, did they shock? No. Yeah, I don't think your power level is diminished all that much. Geist Honored Monk? I love Geist Honored Monk. We're in the 2-0 bracket. Side type 11 months, anniversary soon. Where are we going? Twitch.tv/aspiring spike is where we're going. What was I saying? Yeah, so the biggest problem with Yorion as far as like the power level of your deck, I think is usually that your sideboard cards are way less efficient than they would be in other strategies. Where your sideboard cards, you can like London Mulligan to like Wildfire or Blood Moon against Tron, Rest in Peace against Dredge. It's way harder to do that on 80 cards. But if you play like Karn the Great Creator, or if you play like a bunch of Chord of Callings and you can side in like specific targets that are good in matchups, that's really where Yorion is going to shine. This is Winota. Ah, I see. That makes so much sense. Yeah, Winota is definitely a deck that every time I play against, I'm like, what's going on? It's green-white tokens? It's Naya tokens? There's Geist Honored Monk? Okay, but Geist Honored Monk's just to hit off Winota. I do that all the time whenever I play against these decks. Then we'll cut the second Kroxa. The Cling. We just cut all the Kroxas. I feel like it's probably maybe just like a very slow card, and on the draw in a matchup, it's all about 1 mana interaction. Yeah, Iteration is just cracked in half. This card is so good. And I definitely have built this deck to like be a good Iteration deck because it does have a lot of deck building restrictions, but I wonder if this is just going to be like the evolution of Grixis Shadow. It is this build feels way better than like your standard Street Wraith, Gurmag Angler, Stubborn Denial variant. I will say that Grixis Shadow players unfortunately have, I am stereotyping a bit here, they have, I think, a similar attitude to Jund players where they're playing a deck that needs to be flexible and needs to adjust from week to week in order to succeed. And like Grixis Shadow players, I think usually really like to not change their deck very much, or as much as they should on average. 22 lands is too many lands. I disagree. You might think the curve of the deck is deceptive. The curve of the deck is not. This is not the curve of the deck. The curve of the deck is Kroxa is a 4-drop, Expressive Iteration is a 3-drop, and you have Lurrus. So I think with this mana curve, 22 lands is very good. We also have 3 Fiery Islets. But Lurrus also, of course, wants you to err on the side of more lands and less lands anyways. Let's keep explosives on top. Like, the traditional Grixis Shadow is just like every single one of my spell costs 1 mana. That's the strength of my deck, that every spell costs 1 mana. Probably gonna go explosives next turn. Could play that. No, I think I want to play explosives before I play this. There's a Thalia in play. You can't explosives on 2. What? Is Magic Online bugged? I'm playing 3 Horizon lands. I think it's the right number. I'm not sure though. Obviously, like I'm still trying to figure things out a bit here. Okay, so I think I'd like to play around Winota here by sacking the explosives on their turn and having push up, and not just dying to Winota. Although maybe I'll play around. No, if they play Eldritch Evolution, it's really good for us. That's the second time in 2 days I've seen Xerox used as a term. It was finally explained to me what it is, though, what it means. For the longest time, I didn't know what Xerox meant. Looks like they are going to Evolution. They get their Winota, then we just go explosives push. Goodbye. Cool deck opponent. Kind of like Sprite Dragon, hold up, drown. Yeah, so Xerox apparently means a deck that is very, very low curve, lots of cantrips. I don't really know the origin of the term, though. Blue, red. No, I need to keep this for Shadow. Let's actually do this. It's way easier for us to get a black source than another blue source. So a top like this, if we hit a blue or black source, we can go Shadow with Drown Up. Okay, so hand iteration, bottom seal of fire, XL Delta. I guess I didn't need to shock yet, but it's fine. Man, iteration is so good. It's named that way because their gameplay is to copy the same game over and over. That makes sense. I like that name, I guess. I feel so bad to like just not let Geist Hunter Monk enter the chat either game. We are 3-0-6-0 though. After a 1-2 mulligan. I think we're probably supposed to keep this hand and hope that Fatal Push is good. And if Fatal Push is bad, then, you know, good beats. Okay, we need to get a dual land here so that on turn 3, we can iteration and play a land off of it. If Lurrus gets banned, it's my fault. Maybe I'll be doing Modern a favor. I don't know. I own the Lurrus control deck and paper. I guess I don't own the Sultai variant or the Tarmogoyf variant, but I own the Bring to Light variant. So if it gets banned, I'm also losing the paper deck. I think I'm supposed to probably push here. Obviously, the thought is like, I mean, definitely push because it light up the stage, actually. But the thought to taking it, I think, revolves around Shadow being in your deck, of course. And here, if we hit Shadow off Iteration, we can't play it this turn. It's a price I'm willing to pay. Maybe I could have just taken 2 Baubles, actually. Is that better? Maybe. Yeah, I mean, if they ban another Iteration on top, awesome. If they do ban Lurrus, which, I mean, Lurrus is, like, maybe the best card in the format. I don't think the deck dies. You get to play Jace the Mind Sculptor. 2 darts and a Wild Slash. Not too bad. Yeah, and maybe just banning Bauble is better. Assuming that, like, it is determined Lurrus is too good. Like, especially if another card like Mishra's Bauble is printed in MH2, that's going to be, like, a really, really impactful thing. Okay, so they have 5 points of burn available. I know this is crazy. Stop banning and start unbanning. Well, I mean, my philosophy is usually, as far as that goes, one of the worst things that can ever happen to a format should be cling to dart. Maybe, maybe that's good. Let's actually just lead on Iteration here. I think I was a little too, like, focused on Lurrus. I really doubt we're gonna want to fetch and shock again this game. I might not play this swamp though. Yeah, I think we just, obviously that was kind of a brick. Yeah, we should have just taken the fetch land because we're gonna play a fetch land this turn, so that was a mistake. Let's go clean the dart, see what they do. They just F6'd. We drew the other basic swamp. Good thing we've got the Lurrus, and we also have Cling to Dust. So now they only have 4 points of burn. So they have 4 points of burn. We don't know, or is this, do we know that they have Canal in their hand, or did they already play the Canal? I think they already played the Canal. So we lose to 2 burn spells. I think that's just okay to lose to 2 burn spells here. How do you like the 3 Fiery Islets? I think they're pretty good. So, like, the thing is, you played this exact list on Monday, so I guess you're assuming you made the changes I made that we were talking about with playing the Shadows. I like the Islets a lot in the Shadow variants that we're playing, and, like, the more mid-range variant that we played on Tuesday. I think that I would rather not play. Or maybe I should cast the Kroxa first, because I might cast the burn spells. But obviously that's a great draw. But yeah, I think they're good. I think they're good. They did draw a bolt. So we're at 1 life, but we also just have, man, I really should have cast this pre-combat, huh? We just have Cling to Dust, so we should probably just main phase that, exile Dragon. Kinda want to find room for the second Cling to Dust again. I wonder if we could maybe cut the second Kroxa, because we're back to being kind of threat heavy. Not sure. I mean, Kroxa is very good too. So happy. Yeah, the Neo form. Oh my gosh. Sorry, that's my phone. I need to turn that on silent. Man, Neo Brand was like such a miserable deck to be popular. There was like a point where there were like 4 different decks that could kill you on turn 1, and like they were all weak to different cards. You guys remember that? How miserable that was? I'm glad that that's just not really a thing anymore. Kind of like this sideboard plan. Looks kind of good to me. Definitely a matchup where I'd want the 4th Inquisition. Drown is so good against them. If they print Niatram, do you think they should ban Nikado just because it's funny? It would be really funny, yeah. But Nikado would still, of course, not be that good. Put him a 6. No, they keep 7. Yeah, they can still kill on turn 1, but man, somebody in chat yesterday is like, do you think that they cleared the way for Elvish Spirit Guide in Modern Horizons 2 by banning Sabian's Spirit Guide? Oh man. I think I want to push this to play around, light up the stage. And I need to get in the habit of, if I think I'm gonna get basic mountain, to leave the Tarn. But so guys, I could have gone like Watery Grave basic mountain here. No second land? Interesting. We just got Sprite Dragon. Do I want an iteration for a land? I think I do, yeah. Okay. Death Shadow hand, bottom cling, Exile Swamp. Obviously, a land that would deal us damage would be a bit better, but next turn we can actually just, like, if they go Bolt Shadow, attack us, we can go Unearth Shadow, Shadow Shadow. There's no way they attack here, right? Yeah. I guess I'll go Unearth, Dragon, Shadow Shadow, peek myself with Islet. And feel pretty good about it. We probably died to something like 4 mana Morphoses. 2 bolts. No, not like they'd also have to have mutagenic growth. If I 5-0'd with this list, I 5-0'd with the version we played on Tuesday. 5-0 10-0'd, not losing a game. The version without shadows, but I think the shadows were just like are a very good inclusion here, and happy to add them to the deck. I mean, they have all lands in hand, or all non-lands in hand, so like casting these don't really do anything. I think I still cast 1 pre-combat, since I think I want to tap my Islets, you know? Let's go to another Stormwing. I think we just attack with the shadows. Because they, like, to survive this turn, they just have to block with a shadow, a shadow. So maybe we actually don't even want to ping ourselves, because we just have to untap next turn and win. We could die, but, I mean, we do deny them 2 cards here from the Kroxa, and then we have this as a blocker, so this is going to at least eat 1 Lava Dart. I think we've at least found the right line. Hey, Magus. Wait, they did have a land in hand? Oh, they must have drawn it off the Manamorphose. Oh, second Manamorphose. So 1 Lava Dart doesn't kill us, but 2 burn spells kills us. They make blue mana, so maybe they have Vapor Snag. They do have Vapor Snag. Now we're dead to any non-Wild Slash. No, Wild Slash gets us too. Bummer, bummer, bummer. Swingy game. Alright, gets you on the play for game 3 at least. Do I have plans to play Pioneer anytime soon? Not plans, no. And with Modern Horizons 2 coming out, I don't really see that changing. I'll take the Relic. Not really sure. Yeah, there probably is a market for Pioneer streaming, right? Yeah, no one streams it, so like there's maybe could be someone like that could quarter the market on it, I guess. It's not going to be me. Happy with that trade, I think. Bit of a floody hand. Keeping 4-lander, drawing 3 land or 2 lands off the top feels not good. Wait, why are they darting me there? Do you think Image 2 is blurring the lines between Modern and Legacy? No. Legacy is defined by dual lands, Wasteland, Days, super fast combo. They didn't find a land, and all we were drawing are lands. What an unfortunate game. Super classic. Keep a land heavy hand, draw only land. So probably has Stormwing here, right? So if we can draw a Drown in the Loch, we're doing okay, maybe. Expressive Iteration into Drown, maybe. Sad. Wrong removal spell. I think if I was going to attack, I should have attacked sooner. I think attacking there is like maybe prop free. Like they probably never block, but probably not good enough still. I'll block the Sprite Dragon here. Then maybe they'll bolt me and I'll push, but maybe they'll bolt me, I'll push, they'll dart the dragon, then we can go Lurrus, get dragon back. Yeah, but again, Legacy is defined by like Wasteland, Days, super fast combo, Force of Will, which is a very different card than Force of Negation. Maybe not a very different card, but a different card. Ponder, Brainstorm, and I don't like foresee Wizards like changing Modern to be like that much like Legacy. So hand, Fiery Islet, bottom, Exile. Not, I mean, obviously Expressive Iteration was a good draw. Let's actually, if we have Drown in the Loch on top, I'll probably not cast Lurrus here. We actually get the dragon up to be maybe a reasonable blocker. So Polluted Delta on top. Muscles for Brain, 13 months, appreciate you. Thank you for your resubscription. Really lucky that they didn't dart the dragon, you know. They could have Vapor Snag. They have a Bedlam Reveler on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if they can cast it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cost them 1 extra mana. Oh no, we drew both. Metamorphose, yikes. Their hand is Reveler Mystery card. Worst possible is Vapor Snag. They did make blue mana, but they like tapped a blue mana last turn, so I did suspect the snag. Now we're just dead to the dart. This was a pretty unlucky game. I don't know. Let's bounce back maybe. But it's like the main ones are Swords, Days, Force of Will, Wasteland. But I do feel like I'm just blanking on one. Playing against Yorion, I'm going to keep this. Stifle. Yeah, Stifle is it. I mean, Delver's not interaction, but a Stifle. That's it. No, Mental Misstep's not legal in Legacy, thank goodness. Yeah, Deluge. Terminus is also a lot better in Legacy than it is in Modern. What do you cite in the Bobs? Against control decks and big mana decks. They've been pretty good too, I think. Terminus was only awesome with top. I mean, it's still like playable in the format right now. Still a playable card. So obviously it looks like we're playing against Niv. They do have a second fetch land here. So I'm probably going to save the Bolt to next turn go Dragon plus Bolt. And get the counter on the guy. I actually hosted a no ban list tournament on this channel once. I know I've been saying I'm going to do another one this year. I'm not sure if I actually am though. I'm thinking about it. But Miracles did actually top counterbalance Terminus won the no ban list modern tournament. They named black here. Obviously, they've got there's some things in Modern that can kill my Sprite Dragon here. Hopefully, they don't have one in their hand. But at least they can't ping the dragon. Yeah, the thing about, like, I wanted to do RTR Innistrad Standard, but the thing is, it's just like, some people are going to be really excited for it, and then most people just aren't going to really be that into it, I think. I played Tempted by the Auric and Blue Moon against Ponza to grab their Ren ultimate, and then lost in the backswing. Huh. Yeah, I meant to cast that card. I still have. But that was, like, really high on my list of cards to play with. We have a push for that at least. Hopefully they don't have anything else. Okay. Kroxa hand, bottom, exile. I will say, like, the mana base was, like, painful when we were playing the version without shadows, and just, like, not minding fetching and shocking I think is going to be really nice upgrade to this deck. Nihiri. I guess we don't attack, so that way they can't exile my dragon. I love Nihiri. I think Nihiri the Harbinger is my favorite planeswalker. Oh, they drew this for turn. Do you think Arcanist could be a good call? No, I actually think Dreadhorde Arcanist is just sadly underpowered in decks like this. As much as I do, like, really, really like the card, you know. It's good. Yeah, I think now we attack. Now that their Nihiri is just not as good, because if the turn next turn is just play Nihiri, we just get to kill it. And then I think I just put Lurrus in my hand, since I can play an Escape Kroxa next turn anyway. Be a bit more of a surprise, you know. Yeah, Arcanist definitely gets better with, like, Abundant Harvest, but I mean, yeah, two mana 1/3. Like, Modern is a format defined by, like, being able to kill 2-drops without Summoning Sickness, you know. 2-drops without Summoning Sickness just are so much worse in Modern compared to Legacy. So go Fetch, Shock, 8, 9. Mean Fainted Pack, thank you for your resubscription. Appreciate it. Looks like they got a spell. We know they have Yorion, Misty Rainforest, and other basic planes, and we don't know the other card. That was it. So I guess if we had played the Islet, No, sorry, they've just gone down to 9. Never mind. Thanks for the win, opponent. Well, I didn't have lethal before they fetched. Core Tribal win. I would love, like, a good Core Tribal payoff at Modern and just play Giver of Runes, Skyclave Apparition, Stoneforge Mystic, and then some, like, sick Tribal payoff. I would love that. Nihiri, or no, Nihiri doesn't even get core. The one from Zendikar, the most recent Zendikar. Yeah, bringing in Bobs against the Red and 6 deck feels a bit. Yeah, I'd prefer to have it not be equipment tribal, but that is, you know, like, largely Core's identity, so I guess I would get it. Yeah, probably just, like, with this sideboard configure or this deck configuration, I have to mostly just hope. I'll leave in 1 push for Omnath. We've got Drown. Probably leave it 1 push. I think I just mostly have hope if they have Ren, I get to discard it, and if they don't have Ren, Bob's gonna... How many swords do you think they printed in MH2? Probably 1. Would be my guess, but I don't know. Are manlands impossible to fit in this deck? I mean, it's not impossible because I will not jump through your door and rip the manlands out of your deck, but they would be not good, I think. This deck really likes to have its mana be untapped, you know? Alright, so kind of a slow hand. I'm going to put back a land because Iteration is really good to just hit land drop. So holding the Bauble this way, my dragon doesn't die to a Renin. Big brain. Medium brain, probably. Yeah, 80 cards, by the way. Yeah, manlands just aren't that good, and especially decks like this, it just want to like use its mana every single turn, but I just like haven't like seen very many good manland decks lately. And they have Fatal Push on top, so if they spend their next turn pushing, if we can like Iteration into a land or just draw a land for turn, and bolt the Renin 6, that's going to be not that bad for us. Do you think Cursed Totem or Cursed Totem on a bear would be a good addition from H2? What the hell? So that was my... I don't know what Cursed Totem does. Isn't Cursed Totem just a mana? I thought Cursed Totem was just a mana rock. Well, unfortunate that we don't get a 2-for-1 here, but I think I'll just put the Kroxa hand. Bottom iteration, exiled this. To remember, we just don't have a second Watery Grave to fetch. Activated abilities of creatures can't be activated. I see. Well, you already have a 3-mana version of that in Damping Matrix, I think is the name of that card. And that card's okay. It's bad for us. Just because I was hoping to go Kroxa plus Drown. Now I guess we go hand, bottom. Oh no! Tapped poorly. That might actually cost me the game, not being able to play Shadow this turn. I mean, game 2 on the draw is really tough anyways. Oh, we're getting Veiled. Okay, I probably go to game 3. If you undo on Expressive Iteration... I mean, the undo wasn't the thing, it's just I needed to tap the Steam Vents. But if you undo Expressive Iteration, it's actually bugged, so... And there's also like there's a 4-mana activated abilities of creatures can't be activated, but it's only affects your opponents, and the 4-mana Linvala. So maybe I would like to see that effect on like a 3-mana creature. I'm not sure. If it was symmetrical, maybe it could be 2 mana. Can you cast a card with exile from Teferi? Yes, because you can cast it at any point for the rest of the turn. Teferi doesn't hinder that. All right, let's go to game 3. At least it doesn't feel like our misplay really cost us anything. Plays way different ball game. We even maybe bring in Wildfire on the play, because Wildfire deals with Utopia Sprawl. Probably not very good. Just something to think about. Like maybe the first Wildfire is better than the first push. Obviously, it's just gonna be like, do they have Omnath or do they have a Utopia Sprawl? No. Hand's good. Probably leading on Blood. I don't think it matters that much between Blood Crypt and Watery Grave. Yeah, I mean, we could take Abundant Growth there, but the problem is if they just draw a better card than Abundant Growth, and like then all of a sudden we didn't take the Yeah, we're gonna play Bob. If they drew Ridden 6 and 2 of their top cards, good beats. We do get to kill it with Sprite Dragon. They also, have 80 cards, so maybe that's less likely, but we also all know the truth. Yeah, I think we just play Shadow Sprite Dragon. Well, you would not play Fulminator Mage in this deck because you have Lurrus, so you would play a card like Pillage instead. But I played this deck on Tuesday, right? And or Monday night when I 5-0'd. And I played a league before the 5-0 where I had Pillage over Wildfire. And both of my losses that league were because I had Pillage and not Cleansing Wildfire against Tron. And just on the draw, it was too slow. Oh, that's a lot of Thoughtseize. Okay, maybe just kill them this turn, even if they have... No, Veil actually stops me from losing 2 life. Sack a creature, make a 1/1, sack the Bob. Get to resolve the Thoughtseize. Okay. So this Thoughtseize is like effectively a bolt here, right? Because it grows the shadow by 2. But I mean, we just have enough Thoughtseizes. It also grows the Sprite Dragon. I think we should just cast it. If I didn't have this 3rd Thoughtseize in my hand, I would hold. I guess I should have shocked pre-combat. I definitely should have, but I mean, they're just jumping kind of no matter what. Oh, I guess this actually puts me dead to top decked Helix. Yeah, let's just like not die to that. Yeah, it's probably just better to like... Oh, this goes the Dragon, the Thoughtseize. They have to have drawn something, of course, or they... Here is something. It's actually one of the better cards, of course. They could. Well, the Kroxa is a big problem with them having, you know, all lands in hand. Definitely got punished for the way we sequenced last. They're dead if they didn't draw anything. But I think I'd rather play around them having... I mean, if they drew Kaya's Guile, they would have already cast it. But I think I'd rather just attack Kroxa, likely put them down to 3. And even if they did... even if they did draw... I mean, they have to do something ridiculous next turn, like Omnath into a Verdict, which they can't do if they start with no cards in hand. And with this doesn't like lose to Helix, so... I think that this is better to just go for Kroxa. They did draw a spell. It was Assassin's Trophy. So they lose. Why would they not... In what world do you not Assassin's Trophy the dragon? I don't know. I guess you like need to save it for the Kroxa. I don't even think that that's true. I think you just try to top deck something for Kroxa. Alright, for one that league, the deck is feeling pretty good.